I'm working out from exercise 9C, question number 3. We are given information about a company, the weekly cost, the weekly income. We need to show that the weekly profit fits this equation. We need to then plot a graph of it and sketch it on paper showing the vertex and axes intercepts. We need to state what the x-intercepts mean in the context of this problem, and also find the equation of the axis of symmetry and state what that tells us in the context of the problem. So first off, the most important thing, in order to write the equation, we need to know how you find the profit. We know the income and we know the cost. If you take the income and you subtract the cost, that will tell you your profit. So we're going to take the equation for the income, we'll subtract the equation for the cost, and it should give us the profit equation that we're seeking. So I'm going to write that here. So the income is negative 0.12x squared plus 30x, and we're going to subtract the cost, which is 0.1x squared plus 400. It's very important that you put brackets around this as you're subtracting this entire expression from the first expression. So to simplify that, I'm going to take negative 0.12x squared and subtract 0.1x squared from that, and I will end up with negative 0.22x squared. The plus 30x isn't going to be added or subtracted to anything, so it remains plus 30x. And the minus 400 will be written as such. So this is the profit equation. I'm just going to write it as y equals. Y represents the profit, and this is the equation for the profit. And in the context of this problem, X represents books, so the number of books. Now I need to plot this equation, sketch it on graph paper, show the coordinates of the vertex and the axes intercepts. So on the graphing calculator, I have already typed in the equation that we just found, and I'm going to graph it. If you can see, there is a line on my graphing calculator, a curve showing the vertex, and I can go to second trace, and I can find, if I use 0, I can find the x-intercepts, and if I use maximum, since the curve had a maximum, it opened downwards, then I can use the maximum to find the vertex, which also tells me the axis of symmetry. So I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to choose a point just to the left of the peak of the graph, and then I'm going to choose a point just to the right of the peak of the graph. Some calculator malfunctions. And it tells me that the vertex is at x equals 68.18 and y equals 622.72. So I'm going to write that down, that the vertex is at 68.18 and the y value is 622.72. And if you remember, y value refers to the profit and x value refers to the number of books. I'm going to also find the x-intercepts by using the second trace function, and I will find that the x-intercepts are at 14.978 and 121.385. So again, remember, these are when y is 0 and y is the profit. When the profit is 0, these are the number of books. Okay? So what that means in the context of the problem, the upper and lower bounds for the number of books that can be produced per week for the company to make a profit. So they need to produce at least 14.978 books to come out with exactly $0, where they don't lose any money. On the flip side, they have to produce at least 121.385 maximum to have a profit of 0 without losing any money. So these are the upper and lower bounds for the number of books that they can produce to make a profit. The axis of symmetry, which we found here at the top of the graph, so the point, the maximum of the graph up here. This tells us that in order to maximize profit, 68 books should be produced per week. So this will maximize their profit. And that's how you solve this problem.